Ah, word problems. Everybody loves these. That was sarcasm. Mark and Dawn are planning to sell each of their marble collections at a garage sale. If Dawn has two more than 4 times the number of marbles that Mark has, how many does each boy have to sell if the total number of marbles is 87? Okay, so Mark has some marbles to sell and Dawn has some marbles to sell, and we're supposed to figure out how much each one has. Now, in any word problem in an algebra class, you have to realize that somebody has to be X and just X. And if you read the problem carefully, you can figure out who that is. Now, in this problem, there's only 2 things we're looking for: Mark's number of marbles and Dawn's number of marbles. So either Mark is X or Dawn is X. So let's read this again, shall we? Mark and Dawn are planning to sell each of their marble collections at a garage sale. If Dawn has blah, 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 blah. In all of the blah, 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 blah stuff, it never said what Mark has. I know what Dawn has. Dawn has 2 more than 4 times the number of marbles that Mark has. How many does each have? Boy have. They never say that Mark has blah, blah, blah. They never say that. So Mark is X. I really don't know anything about Mark's marbles, but I do know what Dawn has. He's got 2 more than 4 times the number of marbles Mark has. So we're going to say that the number of X, let's see, Mark is going to equal X marbles. And then Dawn has, get a different color here, 2 more than 4 times the number of marbles that Mark has. 2 more than means to add 2. So they're going to take 2 and add it to 4 times. So you're going to multiply 4 times X, which is the number of marbles that Mark has. Now, if you want, you can make it a little bit more algebraically pleasing to the eye and write it as a 4x plus 2 or a 2 plus 4x, but I like 4x plus 2. So Mark has X marbles. Dawn has 4x plus 2 marbles. And then they tell me that the total number of marbles is 87 total. That means if you take the numbers of marbles that Mark has and add it to the number of marbles that Dawn has, it equals 87. Well, this is Mark. Mark has X marbles. This is Dawn. Dawn has 4x plus 2 marbles. And there's my equation. X plus a 4x plus 2 equals 87. When I solve for X, I'll know how many marbles Mark has. And then since Dawn has 2 more than 4 times Mark's, I'll just take 4 times Mark's and add 2 to it, and I'll know Dawn. Or actually, I could just subtract Mark from 87 since they add up to 87, whichever way is easiest. But let's solve the problem, shall we? All right, so I am going to say, all right, we got X here and 4X there. Those are like terms, so I can combine those and get 5X. I still have the plus 2 equals 87. I am then going to subtract the 2 from both sides. That cancels out. I get 5x is equal to 85. And then I'm going to take my 5x and divide by 5 so that that cancels out. But I got to divide by 5 over here. And 5 goes into 8 once with 35. 5 goes into 35 7 times. So 17. Mark has 17 marbles. And then Dawn, the quickest way would be, there's 87 total. Subtract the 17 and you get 70. Dawn has 70. Or you can say 4 times 17 and then add the 2 to that. 4 times 17 is 40, and 28 is 68, and 68 plus 2 is also 70. So I think this was a little quicker, but it works either way. And just so you know, I'm not totally crazy. We got 17 and 20, so Mark has 17. Don has 20. How'd to do? Oh, not 20, April. 70. Hello. I did that on purpose so you can see what happens when it gets wrong. See, watch. It's green. Oh no, it's green. Or it's red. I'm colorblind. Woohoo! All right, try this again. 70. Bam. 17 and 70. There we go. So you can go back and fix your answer. And this is also one of those problems where you have to type in an explanation on how you arrived your answer. So I would probably just go back and, I'd say, I let Mark be X. I let Don be 4X plus 20, which came up with the equation of X plus 4X plus 2 equals 87. And then I'd show my steps for solving it. So there you go.